Today I'm going to talk about magic minerals, why a diet poor in the essentials is nothing short of madness health-wise, and how a couple are real magicians when it comes to accelerating fat loss. Now, plants get their minerals from the soil and the water they drink. Animals get their minerals from the plants they eat and from other animals, and we get our minerals from the food we eat, and we need the lot. Some minerals we need in fairly hefty amounts, others just in teeny amounts, but we must get the lot for a healthy balance and for a fit and healthy body. Interestingly, vitamins seem to command a bit more interest than minerals, and sure, we definitely need the full package of vitamins for a strong and healthy body, but minerals are equally important, and there are a couple of real gems that are busy away in the background doing their stuff and helping us to fat bust as long as we remember to include them in our diet. The first one I want to focus on is magnesium, which is important for the formation of teeth and bones, helps to release the energy from the foods we eat, is very important for nerve cell function and muscle contraction, and triggers all sorts of biochemical reactions from controlling blood pressure to encouraging fat to be burned rather than stored. These are just a few of the reasons it's magic. Right now I'm going to talk about how magnesium helps accelerate fat loss. There are a few reasons, but perhaps the two main ones are hormone related. Cortisol, the stress hormone, and also another fat storing hormone, adiponectin, when elevated, are going to do just that, store fat. However, magnesium is very good at keeping them under control, so when levels are healthy, there is a much greater likelihood that we're going to burn fat. Another reason is that magnesium plays quite an important role in the balance of fluids within our body, and as we all know, if you're retaining fluid, you're certainly unlikely to lose fat. My 2 weeks in the super fast lane diet concentrates on providing lots of foods rich in magnesium. Fish and shellfish, green leafy vegetables, whole grains, nuts and seeds, fruit. And when you follow my recommendations within the diet, your magnesium levels should be sorted. Here's my deliciously light fish broth, which is a great evening meal alongside some vegetables or a salad, particularly if your day has been really manic, as just about everything comes straight from the freezer or the fridge. A delicious fish stock is usually involved, which you can make yourself, but there's also lots of excellent, good quality stocks on supermarket shelves now. A mix of greens and beans, prawns, a mix of other seafoods, and some white fish. And let me move on to spinach, a great source of magnesium. I use spinach a lot in umpteen dishes, either lightly cooked or raw in salads, or as in the case of this dish, which I call tofu towers. I really can't remember where the inspiration for this dish came from, but it's very filling, very delicious, and very rich in magnesium, not only from the spinach, but there's also tofu in there, which is a rich source of magnesium. There's also grilled aubergines, which I paint with sort of sweet chili oil, which is very delicious. You kind of get a sort of sweet and sour sort of edge to it, and then a poached egg, or two, depending on the mood you're in. Now, this actually also works very well with scrambled egg if the thought of poaching eggs brings you out in a sweat. I also include nuts and seeds in my diets very regularly, not just because they're rich in magnesium, but they're also rich in good fats. What I tend to do is, for ease and when time is tight, is I tend to take a pile like such as these, and I roast them separately and keep them in jars in the fridge. They just add a lovely crunch to salads, to vegetable dishes, to soups and stews. But be cautious when you're toasting them or roasting them because they burn in the blink of an eye. The other mineral I want to talk about is iron. Now, almost every process that takes place within the body which involves creating energy from the foods we eat requires the mineral iron. So if we're short of iron, we tend to be short of energy. Now, women with heavy periods tend to be often depleted, so good levels of iron in their diet are an absolute must. But also there's lots of other reasons why we can become a little deficient in iron. So if you suffer from things like dizziness or constant fatigue, or you know that horrible kind of restless leg syndrome in bed, particularly at night, well, there may be a chance that you might be a little short of iron. So I would recommend that you go to your GP or health practitioner and get your levels checked, because you may need to supplement for a while. Now, there are two types of iron. One type we get from animal flesh, which is very easily absorbed within the body. The other type, if you're vegetarian or vegan, the other type is found in plant foods, but that form of iron needs good levels of vitamin C in order that it gets properly absorbed. So things like peppers and tomatoes and obviously fruits are important as well. Here's my Mexican style omelette that doesn't require any chefy omelette techniques. It's all baked in the oven and includes peppers and tomatoes alongside some chorizo, and is very rich in iron. It's also topped and baked at the last minute with some lovely salty goat's or ewe's milk cheese. So iron requirements sorted. I hope this short video has sparked your interest, and I do hope you'll come back again. But in the meantime, if you want to know a bit more about me, a bit more about the new diet, 2 weeks in Superfast Lane, or indeed my other diets and other books, head to my website or join me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter.